November 2019, Paper 1, Grade 10, Exam Review. Question 1.1. Factorize the following expressions fully. 3y squared plus 3y. This one is simple, so we're going to say 3y squared plus 3y plus just y, plus y. Take out the common factor. This is technically 3y times y plus y. What's common is the y and the y. So if we take the y out, we will have 3y plus 1 remaining. Question number 2 says x squared minus 10x minus 24. This one's easy because we have a 1 in front of here, so we know we're going to have two brackets. In our first bracket we have x, second one is x. Now we got two minuses and we want to get a sum of 24. So the factors of 24, so we remember we have 1, 1. And then the factors of 24 is 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, I think, and 4 times 6. Then we have 6 times 4. And at this point, I'm going to stop because 1 and 1 means it doesn't matter which order I put it in, they're going to be identical. So now I want to figure out how do I get negative 10. So I'm going to add them up. 24 and 1 will either give me 25 if I add them, or if I subtract one from the other, I will get 23, plus or minus 23. 12 will either give me 14 if I add, or 10 if I subtract. That's exactly what I want. I want 10. So I want negative 10, which means my 12 is going to be negative and my 2 is going to be positive. I'm not doing this, so this is my first bracket and this is my second bracket. X plus 2 and x minus 12. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the answer to that question. Question 3 says 9x squared. I'm going to do this for my paper copy. So question number 3 says 9x squared minus y squared minus 10y minus 25. All right, so now this becomes interesting, right? Because you have 4 terms. Do you remember what to do when you've got 4 terms? Well, we are going to group. Now, normally when we're grouping, we want to look for 2 sets that have 2 things in common. Meaning that if I had an x here at the back, then I would have put my x's together, my y's together, but I don't have an x at the back. That's what's different in this question from what you are used to. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to take the 9x squared out, right? And the rest I am going to use as a trinomial. So I'm going to say minus, and then I keep everything the same. Let me think now. If I take a minus out, everything must change. So this becomes positive y squared. This becomes positive 10y. And this becomes positive 25 because I took this minus out. Do you remember that? All right, so let's factorize this section here. We are going to have 9 squared minus, and our 2 brackets. And in our brackets, we're going to have y and y. And now we want the factors of 25, and it must give me a total of 10. So 1 and 25, and then 5 times 5. Those are my only factors that I have. 5 and 5 give me 10 if I add them up. So it's going to be plus 5 plus 5. Wow, that's awesome, because that now gives me y plus 5 squared, right? Sorry, that's squared. So now I have a situation where I have 9x squared minus y plus 5 squared. If this bracket, instead of being a bracket, let's say this was a instead of that. So if that was a squared, then I would have x squared minus a squared. The first thing you see, or what you notice, is you have difference of squares, right? which is fantastic. Now you can factorize difference of squares. Difference of squares, because this is a square number, is going to be 3x minus a. I'm going to change that a now. And then I have 3x plus a. And instead of the a, we are going to write what's in the bracket, y plus 5. Y plus 5 in brackets. Now, are we done? Let's see. We should be done. I changed the signs. That looks fine to me. 3x. If we multiply that minus in, then we have 3x minus y minus 5 multiplied by 3x plus y plus 5. And that's the end of question 1.1.3. Okay. Let's try 1.1.2, which is simplify. So this all was factorized. Next question is simplify. So we've got these two expressions, or these two brackets in the expression. So now we're going to simplify. And I'm going to write it from my paper copy. I've got 4 plus 1 over x multiplied by 2 minus 3 over x. And what are we going to do? You are simply going to do FOIL, right? So if I do first with first, I'm going to say this multiplied by that. 4 times 2. Then I'm going to do outer with outer. 4 multiplied by, negative. Yeah, negative 3 over x. Then I want inner. This times this. 1 over x multiplied by 2. And last with last is going to be, let's go yellow. That with that. 1 over x multiplied by negative 3 over x in brackets. That's what we got. And in between each of those, we are literally adding them up. Okay, so let's do the orange one. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 4 times 3 is 12 over x plus 2 over x plus negative 3 over x squared. And then last option that we have left is we need to add like terms. So these two are like terms because they have the denominator of x. So my answer is going to be 8. Minus 12 plus 2 is going to be minus 10 over x minus 3 over x squared. And that's your final answer. This was question 1.121. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 2. We're still simplifying. So 1, 1, 2, 2 gives us the question 5x minus 5, all of it over 5x. Now, the common mistake that we have is we would like to cancel like that, and that is absolutely wrong. You are not allowed to do that. So you want to take out the common factor. On the top, they have 5 and 5 in common. So I take 5 out, and what I'm left with is x minus 1 over, at the bottom I have a 5 multiplied by x. Now I can cancel out because this relationship here is multiplication. So 5 and 5 I take away, and what I'm left with is going to be x minus 1 over x. That's your final answer. And then question 1.2.3 says you have 3x plus 1 plus 3x divided by 27 multiplied by 3 to the power of minus 1 plus x. what do we see? We see we have exponents that are variables, so we're going for the same base, different exponents, right? So let's start. We're going to use the base of 3. So this we are going to convert, and we're going to say 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So this is 3 to the power of 3. So I can rewrite this. This becomes 3x plus 1 plus 3x over 3 to the power of 3 multiplied by 3 minus 1 plus x. My next step is to now write everything in the numerator with one base and the denominator with one base, right? So I'm adding here. So this becomes 3x plus 1. And because of that addition sign, I am going to, hold on. Okay. Because of that addition sign, I am actually going to do this differently. Instead of doing that, I'm going to separate this one. So this one I'm going to split up, and I'm going to say it's 3x multiplied by 3 to the power of 1 plus 3x divided by 3 to the power of 3 times 3 minus 1 plus x, right? Or we can split this one up as well. So this becomes 3 to the power of x. And the reason why we're doing this is all the main factor that's causing us to do this is this addition sign. Because of this addition sign, we want to factorize. So we're looking for a common factor. 3x is common and 3x is common. This is multiplication, 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 and there I see another 3x. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take 3x out on the top, and in my bracket I have 3 to the power of 1 plus 1, because I took 3x out. And in the denominator I have 3 to the power of x, I'll put this one in the front, times 3 times 3 minus 1. Now I can cancel this one with this one because this is a multiplication relationship. Okay, so now what's left? What's left now is we've got 3 to the power of 1 plus 1 as a numerator, and as a denominator we have 3 to the power of 3, and because this is multiplication we're going to subtract, right? Minus 1. Actually we're adding negative 1, plus minus 1, right? So 3 to the power of 1 plus 1 divided by 3 to the power of 2. That's what we have. 3 plus minus 1 is 2. So 3 to the power of 1 is 3 plus 1, which gives us 4, divided by 3 to the power of 2, which is 9. So we have 4 over 9 as our final answer. Okay, so normally when we are working with this exponent one, we don't have a plus sign in between the factors. What made this one different and more challenging, different and more unique is this plus sign. That's what caused us to kind of reassess how we are going to do this, because we had to take out a common factor before we could factorize. So the answer to this question is 4 over 9. Okay, so this is question 1. I hope you understood. Any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, click on the like and subscribe button so that you can get notifications of the future videos. Our next video is going to be question number 2. Bye-bye.